Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be my review, my short review for the Ironheart show. So let's just get right into it. So yeah, it was kind of a mixed bag of a show. I do like the ending, I do like aspects about the show, but overall it's kind of just mid. I would put it maybe somewhere around, Moon Knight, where it's got some good elements, but overall it just kind of doesn't coalesce. So I think my main problem with this is I really don't like Riri Williams as a character. She's not like a terrible character, like I don't hate her, but there's just something a little bit about her. I think it's maybe her attitude, her kind of cockiness, but also making stupid decisions that kind of just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I didn't particularly like her in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and the fact that we just gloss over her time in Wakanda, like she's just all of a sudden back at MIT, but then gets kicked out of MIT, and then she's in Chicago, and she's like, oh, I can't just call up Shuri, and I'm like, well, what? Like, why isn't Shuri helping you out? Like, why didn't Shuri help pay for MIT or support your funding for building a suit? She's just like, oh, thank you for helping us against Namor, bye. That, I just feel like we could have explained it a little bit better. Maybe they couldn't afford anybody from the cast of Black Panther, but I just feel like it's just a little weird to me. And, kind of just feels like, I just feel like we're not connecting everything in the MCU as much as we used to. We're just sort of hand-waving away things, and that just kind of, so it's not necessarily Ironheart, it's kind of just a bigger MCU problem going on right now. This show was made 2 years ago or something, so it definitely comes from that era of Ant-Man, Quantumania, and stuff. But there are some good things in this. I really like Natalie. It's a little sad, how we get Natalie back, and the fact that she's obviously not going to be the AI version of Natalie. But I really liked the Natalie character all throughout. That actress, I think, did a great job. She definitely, had the most charisma and personality of the entire cast, so I really like her. I didn't really care for anything going on with Parker and his gang. His motivations and whatever he's doing is just not clear enough and undermotivated, and we don't even find out about his dad until the 5th episode or something, and so it just feels kind of muddled. And we don't really know what the other crew, other than money, which is always a great motivator, I guess, but then he's trying to make sign companies over to him or something. It just feels really strange and not explained enough, I think, for me. And also the powers that the cloak gives him, I just feel aren't explained enough for me. I did I think her name is Zelma, the magic girl in the candy shop. I love that whole aesthetic of this candy shop is a front for this the mom and daughter's magic world. I think that was pretty fun. I kind of wish we would have done a little bit more with that. We do get some mentions of Doctor Strange and Kamar-Taj, which is kind of cool, but again, that's kind of just hand-wavy explanations. I wish we would have gotten a bit more with that and explaining the magic and everything. So it just feels a little bit rushed. Then we have Joe, aka Ezekiel Stane, which I think is a weird choice because I don't think we've mentioned Obadiah Stane maybe since the Iron Man movies, and that's a decade ago almost, it's a decade ago. So that feels like a weird callback to bring in. But, Cap 4 brought back in, the leader and, all the Incredible Hulk stuff, even though that was a decade ago too. So maybe Marvel's just in this weird phase of, we're going to pay off these things that happened a decade ago. But I feel like his turn to working with Parker was weird. Even he's I always hated my dad, but now I'm the one fighting an iron suit or something. And I just feel we never really got to know him well enough for that arc to really resonate or mean anything. So that was also a bit rushed. I think it's Natalie's brother. He's kind of a non-entity, which is unfortunate. He does not really have any effect on the show. There's maybe some type of romance going on between him and Riri or something. But ultimately, you could take him out and it doesn't really change the plot of the show. We don't really get to know Riri's mom. The show kind of feels like what Ms. Marvel was. Like, it feels like it was trying to be Ms. Marvel, the show. But the difference is, not everybody loved Ms. Marvel, but I did. But, I loved the characters. I loved the family. I loved the friends. The villains were kind of bad, but because I loved all these other aspects, I feel like that's what made the show. Other than Natalie, I really don't like any of the other characters in this show. So I feel like that kind of really hurts it. And then again, the story just feels rushed. Riri feels like she's making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision with really no great motivation and explanation for why. I mean, yes, I know she needs the money to build the suit. But again, I feel like they don't really explain why Wakanda's not helping her enough, or why she got kicked out of MIT, or, why nobody else is, she's built an Iron Man suit. Does that, mean nothing in this world anymore? Shouldn't people be seeing her fly around and want to help sponsor her? I just feel like it's a little weird that, she has to turn to crime to make money to fund her suit, but she uses her suit to Anyway, it's all just a bit muddled. I know her character journey is that, she lost her best friend. That didn't seem to affect her in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but she lost her friend, and so, she feels like she needs to make the suit so that she can protect the people that she loves. I get that, but just something about her attitude and how she's going about it. And I understand that she's, maybe 18, 19, I don't know. So she's not she's still kind of a kid. And I get that, we wanted to get her to the end where she makes a deal with Mephisto. And that seems to be, the whole point of the show. Is just, let's do what we have to do to get to this point where she makes a deal with Mephisto. And I'm going to assume that because the show wasn't really that great, Marvel didn't, just completely scrap it. I feel like having her make the deal with Mephisto might come into play later on. So maybe that's why. And if they pay that off, then we'll look back and say, oh, okay, give the show a little bit more of a pass. But if it doesn't get paid off, then again, this becomes another show of what's the point of doing it? Like Moon Knight. So again, I put this on the level of a Moon Knight. Of there's some good stuff in here. The overall kind of explanation of the story, with the magic and with Moon Knight, it's the Egyptian gods and whatever. Doesn't really make any sense. But if we continue with Riri Williams and this Mephisto thing, then I'll definitely give the show a bit more of a pass, because we had to get to that point. Whereas Moon Knight, we have not seen any of Moon Knight, so who knows what's going on with that. So hopefully Marvel can get back on track and start telling stories and paying off what they've set up again, instead of just introducing things as one-offs. And the one-offs are fine if you do it like a Werewolf by Night. I really liked Werewolf by Night. If we don't ever see Werewolf by Night, that's fine. It was a self-contained story. That's great. But when we're trying to leave breadcrumbs, we need to make sure we pay those off. So overall, the Ironheart show is just kind of okay. It's not great. It's not terrible. There's some good stuff in it. There's some not so great, just narrative storytelling. The ending, I do like the last 2 episodes a lot. So, yeah, overall, I thought it's pretty okay. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Maybe you guys loved it, maybe you guys hated it, I don't know. Nobody's really talking about it, so it's hard to gauge what people's reactions are, other than I think they like the last episodes because they were kind of, a bit shocking with the Mephisto stuff. And I liked the scenes with Mephisto, other than, again, we're not really explaining what type of entity he is. I feel like he should be more in the supernatural realm, maybe a Moon Knight or Werewolf by Night, or if they ever get around to Blade. But they seem to imply he's in the magic realm, which again is not really firmly established, I would say. So, who knows, but hopefully we'll see more of him. So thank you all for watching the video. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel for more Marvel content. And also I'm doing Disney live action remake reviews as well, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, you may be a glitch, but you're my glitch. Bye.